Hello everyone. Today is July the 29th. I'm Dr. Adam London, Director of the Kent County Health Department, here for this week's COVID-19 update. And first of all, I want to thank all of you who sent well wishes for little Theodore London. Last week I mentioned that he had a fever and was showing some cold-like symptoms and that he had a COVID-19 test pending. Well, I want to let you know he's doing just fine. He's doing great. He's all better now. And that test came back negative. So we're thankful for that. He did, however, pass that virus along to the rest of us. And so the rest of the family had cold-like symptoms over the weekend. But I think we're all better now and doing much better. So thanks again for all the well wishes. We greatly appreciate that. So our numbers in Kent County. We're at 6,288 diagnosed cases here in Kent. We're seeing an increase of about 40 new cases per day, and that's been about flat, a similar number each day over most of the past couple of weeks. We've seen some ups and downs, but overall, about 40 new cases per day. We're at 4,853 recoveries in total here in Kent County, and right now we're at 149 deaths in Kent County. We're seeing an increase of about 5 deaths per week. And our prayers, our hearts, our thoughts go out to all of those who are suffering with having lost someone from COVID-19. Some are saying that's not a large number. While it could be a lot larger, and we've seen communities with much higher case mortality rates, it's still 149 people. They're our neighbors, our family, our friends, and they're people in our community who would probably be with us if not for this pandemic. And so we're all mourning and grieving their loss. The positivity rate is the good news. Here in Kent County, our positivity rate, and just to be clear, that's the percentage of COVID-19 tests that come back positive. That positivity rate has declined over the past couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, we were looking at a positivity rate in the mid 4% range. 4% is about the line at which we get concerned that a resurgence might be starting to happen. And so we were very concerned a couple of weeks ago. We've seen that come back down. We're now at about 2.9%. So that's a positive development for us here in Kent County. And because of that, we've actually seen the governor's office reduce West Michigan from being a hot spot in the high-risk red range down to a medium-risk orange range district. However, we're also seeing the positivity rate in other places, especially on the east side of the state, increase right now, and that's very disturbing. Macomb County right now is at 5.9%. Wayne County is 5.4%. Both of those counties are in southeast Michigan, the greater Detroit area, so that's very concerning. Saginaw County is at 6.5%, which I think is the largest, the highest percentage of positivity right now. That's very concerning. We know there's no way to keep this bubbled up in one community. There's so much transportation and commerce statewide and regionally that it's impossible to keep this buttoned up in one spot. So that's why it's very important for all of us in West Michigan. If we're going to see that positivity rate remain low here, we need to do the things that we can do to make it difficult for this virus to spread. You know what those things are. Mask use, social distancing, hygiene. Keep doing those things and we can keep winning this battle. Our hospitals right now are in great shape. We continue to see very few inpatient hospitalizations of COVID positive people. That's a very positive sign for us. However, we also know that that's a very tenuous position to be in. These things can come back in a hurry. We see in Florida, for instance, where a couple of months ago they were doing really well and they reopened almost everything. And now Florida is seeing extremely high case numbers. And there was a story out this morning that 54 hospitals in the state of Florida have reached full capacity in their intensive care units. And another 44 hospitals are within 10% of reaching full capacity in their intensive care units. Once those hospitals are overwhelmed, that's when we see case mortality rise quickly. And that's what's concerning for us. Here in West Michigan, you have done a tremendous job in making it difficult for this virus to spread and making sure that our hospitals are not overwhelmed. When they get overwhelmed, their ability to provide the best care possible starts to diminish. they become overwhelmed, and we see fewer people have great outcomes. And that's why it's very important for us to keep that positivity rate low and to keep our hospitals in a great position to be successful. Here at the health department, we're working on a couple of other issues right now that we know are critical for the near future. We're working closely with our farms and agricultural workers. We know that agriculture is a huge part of our economy in West Michigan, and we know that the workers who harvest those crops often work in large groups. They house together in large groups. That's a vulnerable population. We're working closely with the state of Michigan, with counties in this region, and with those farms to make sure that those workers have testing, they have isolation, and they have the care and support they need to make sure that their work can continue in a low-risk way, and that we can make sure that those industries and those crops can come to market in a safe way. We're also working very closely with our schools, of course, right now. We all know how concerning and how vulnerable of an environment that is. We want to make sure our schools have the information and the guidance that they need in order to pull this off. And so continue to look for more information from us and from the schools about how that's going to happen. And for those of you who are running a small business, 25 employees or fewer, or who are operating a nonprofit here in Kent County, we know that small businesses and nonprofits are the lifeblood of society and our culture here in West Michigan. There are resources to support you, especially if you're struggling in the current economic situation. I would encourage you, if you run a small business, 25 or fewer employees, or if you run a nonprofit organization here in Kent County, go to accesskent.com. There's a link there for a couple of programs that can help provide financial support to you during this tough time. Please check that out. There's also information there at accesskent.com for how to report a suspected violation. If you're seeing non-compliance with executive orders, please go to that website. You can follow that link and get information about where to go, what phone number to call, and how to file those complaints. As you can imagine, we're getting swamped with notifications about violations. We take all of those very seriously, and we're doing our very best to respond to those in a responsible way. It is, to be honest, however, very difficult to do that because of the enormous number of these complaints that we do receive. So please help us out. Make sure you're calling the correct phone numbers and giving us the information and other agencies the information they need so they can respond and investigate in a timely, effective manner. That's all for today. I encourage you to stay positive, stay heroic, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Thank you.